no matter where you're at, God is not done using you, right? The church is not optional because your life is not optional. And the person's life you're called to impact is not optional. And if you think it's optional, if you think you can use other people as an excuse, you think you can use other things as an excuse as to why you're not engaged, why you're not living as the church, you're not understanding His Word better and living it out better and being in relationships that help you do those two things better, if you think you've made enough of an excuse and you know that church is so ugly and you know church history so you know it's bad, you know how bad it's been, you know what the church has done, so it's like, listen, you ain't going to get me. I know what happened. But here's what Jesus says to him when He says, what about the other disciple? What about him? In John chapter 21, verse 22, Jesus' response to him is this. Jesus answered, if I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? You must follow me. Oh, I would have fell out if I was Peter. Like, oh, you got me. My bad. That was it. I was like, oh, you just hit me right in the jaw and it's broken. I can't even talk no more because you hit me so hard with, that ain't none of your business. That ain't none of your business. The church down the road, you don't like what they got to say? That time in your past, that pastor did that thing and you don't like what he did? He did something messed up. He messed with your family. He hurt you. He hurt them. That church history, what they did, how bad they were. All the people around you that are terrible Christians. You're like, see, Jesus, that's why I don't try to represent you well. Because there's so many bad Christians. And Jesus is telling you in this moment, church ain't optional. What's that to you? You follow me. There was a moment where I prayed and I asked God, how dare you send all these people to hell? Like, how dare you send all these, how dare you do that? Like, why would you do that? That can't be real, because I had a certain perception of what salvation was and what I'd been taught. And Jesus doesn't answer me. Like, in this moment, this is not him saying that that's going to happen. He's saying, what if? Because John later tells us, like, that's not even true. That's not what Jesus ever said. That was just a bad rumor. He doesn't even take the time to answer me. In that same moment with me, Jesus didn't answer me. He didn't go, listen, they're not all going to hell. Listen, I got something. I got grace. I got something. Jesus told me in that moment, like, do you trust me? Have you seen my goodness and my grace? Have you found out that my son was real and you found out that he died on the cross for your sins? So what business of yours is it how I judge those outside the church, how I judge anybody else in the world? You follow me. And I was like, oh, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Okay. All right. I come to terms. He taught me things and I learned things about understanding His grace and His mercy and the fact that I can't know, but I can trust Him. And for some of you, there's all these excuses to why the church is optional, why you are at arm's length. You're like, man, I would love to, but I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to rep with them. I've seen what they did. I've seen what happened. No. What business of that is yours? Of that is yours. You follow me. And Jesus says, this is my body. This is me. Following me is being connected as the church. The church. 2 or 3 gathered. However it functions, however it plays out. Make it a priority because it's not optional. It's not optional to follow Jesus. It's not optional you can't follow Him in theory. You can't stay home and understand His Word and not live it out. It's not the same. They both have to happen. You need people in your life. That's why we got life groups. You need relationships to help you grow. You need all of those things together, and it's called the church.